It was deadly. It was deadly. Báwo ni ẹ ṣe máa fi iṣẹ́ bọ́jọ́wọ́ tẹ́fẹ́ fi múyàn kúrò? Now, when he saw that I was not going to yield, July 9, it was a Sunday, 2022, I went to his church. That day there was a salary, it was a heavy rain in Lagos. This man entered his room. He entered. There was a passage. I was sitting in another parlor. Just the second parlor he entered. He took one Google, this London Google, it's inside sachet, green. From that passage, he threw it at me. And I grabbed it. He said, hey, Lord Jehovah, okay, fine. Then he went again inside. He came to the passage. He threw another one to me. He said, Fuya, where? Then he went back into the house again. He brought another one, threw it to me again. He said, 4 more. I didn't know the meaning, but I was like, maybe he was just doing it the way he is. Normally, he's supposed to pack all this in and just walk. It's just from his own inner parlor to the parlor that connects to his kitchen. It's just a stone throw. It's just 2 steps away. He was throwing it to me. He would go into the parlor, take it, stay in front of it, and throw it, fling it. He did it 3 times. So I didn't count it as anything. I went to the house. In the evening, I was eating the kugu. The kugu was even sweet. It was salted well. I was eating it. Then I started having some feeling inside me.
This is the continuation of the mind-blowing expose made possible by a blogger called Benga Asabe, the CEO of Asabe Afrikatv. You're about to be blown away. What you will be listening to here will shock you. This world is full of mystery. He recounted his experience with a celestial prophet, CCC, a white garment prophet called Prophet Marcus Tibetan. Now, Marcus Tibetan is a controversial person. He has said a lot of things about politicians and also about other clerics, both in the white garment church, the Pentecostal, gospel, prophetic. He has said a lot of things about them, and all that he said about them are all negative. Now, Prophet Marcus was asked once, you have presented yourself to be a saint, like you've not committed any sin, like your file with God is clean. And he said yes, and he quoted scriptures. Now, talking about scriptures, Prophet Marcus is known to quote scriptures even when he's saying terrible things, such as what he said to Asabe Africa, that he was the horse that he rode to the palace. Now, there are people who have come forward, and one of them is a young man who alleged that Prophet Adebayo somehow manipulated him spiritually, or maybe he conned him into doling out huge amount of money. He paid for acres of land that he had not seen. Prophet insists that the land is somewhere, and the young man went to see the land, and it was not what he expected. He was told that that particular land is somewhere around Chevron, close to Dangote's refinery. And he thought, okay, if it is close to Dangote's refinery, maybe in some coming years, or thereabouts, 1 to 3 years, he will be able to invest and build houses there. He felt this was his big break. Unfortunately, when he saw where the actual land is located, he was so disappointed. He said he trusted and he believed in Prophet Marcus Tibetan, and he got attracted to him as a result of his excellent speech. And what are these speech? Prophet Marcus, like I said, is a controversial person. He throws shots and arrows at all the pastors in Nigeria and politicians in Nigeria, apart from himself. He calls them dirty. He said their root is demonic. Now, another prophet called Adebayo that has his root in Christ Apostolic Church said, and I quote, Tibetan got its powers from Okitipupa. Now, for those that are non-Nigerians or you're not from the southwest of Nigeria, you might not understand what this means. It's simply saying that Prophet Marcus is diabolic, demonic, and that he is backed up by witchcraft and ancestral spirits. And that is the core and foundation of his ministry. And that his divination are not prophecies, that these are demonic manifestations. There are few people who point to Prophet Marcus Tibetan and say this man is truly of God. We've experienced this and that and that. There are a few people, but I think we're beginning to see more people coming out to say Prophet Marcus is this, Prophet Marcus is that, Prophet Marcus is this. Now, to be fair, maybe you might be part of those who will say, no, he impacted my life positively. After all, even Marabu, Dibia, Babalawos, they impact people's life in their own little way, at least to draw customers or clients to themselves. They will offer you something, maybe heal you or put an end to certain challenges that you have in your life. And if Prophet Marcus Tibetan is of God, did he turn rogue? What really happened to Prophet Marcus Tibetan? Recently, Prophet Marcus, in an interview with another blogger, spoke about how he came into ministry. He said he lived in Germany and God brought him on his knees via an accident, an auto crash, and he decided to do the work of God by force. Now, Prophet Adebayo insisted, and is still insisting, that Marcus Tibetan is not of God. Let us be fair. Let us be fair by giving the blogger who had been with him for over 10 years, let us give him the opportunity to express himself. Let us hear what he saw, what he experienced with Prophet Marcus Tibetan. Like you heard at the beginning of the video, Prophet Marcus shot him arrows because he wanted to stop him from interviewing, airing the opinion, the prophecies of Prophet Adebayo. Let us hear him and we will talk more.
And his game plan was to take me to London, put me in the church, maybe as a secretary or as a church boy or something else, or put me in the system. And he also had another second agenda to take my channel, because I found that out eventually. You see, he's not talking about all these things. And you ask yourself, why is he want the same thing he did to Timmy, the land guy? You collected his money for land and you are pushing him, you tell him to relocate abroad, relocate to America, relocate to London.
So even I wanted to introduce him to Gambari, but I took him to Gambari's sisters. That's Imule. So he was there, he knew virtually all the people I knew in Abuja. So for that, I left that night, I did everything. Even I was arranging, if he can get a visa and go to Texas, it will be better. Rather for you to waste money, he said, okay, the house in Abuja, he will rent it out. So he will go for that. Then we try visa. So he didn't get visa. And I'm not
The same thing you are trying to do to me. So he was dragging that with me between July, August. And as he was dragging that to me, something nasty happened to me. You will never know what happened to me. It was deadly. It was deadly. Báwo ni ẹ ṣe máa fi iṣẹ́ bọ́jọ́wọ́ tẹ́ fẹ́ fi múyàn kúrò? Now, when he saw that I was not going to yield, July 9, it was a Sunday, 2022, I went to his church. That day there was a salary, it was a heavy rain in Lagos. This man is not a Muslim, but I took 50,000 out of my church mind. I went to go and give him, to dash him to enjoy himself. For that day, there were things I was doing around the church. And most of these things, when I spend money on it, I used to tell them not to tell him because I don't want, I'm not doing it for him, I'm doing it for God. I did some things in the toilet and some other things in the environment. So I was giving money to someone downstairs. So I went up to meet him and I gave him 50,000 as daddy for holiday. He's not a Muslim. I'm talking of July 9. As at that time, he was asking me, passport, I said, he entered his room. There was a passage. I was sitting in another parlor. Just the second parlor he entered. He took one Google, this London Google is inside sachet, green. From that passage, he threw it at me. And I grabbed it. He said, hey, Lord Jehovah, okay, fine here. Then he went again inside. He came to the passage. He threw another one to me. He said, Funya, where? Then he went back into the house again. He brought another one, threw it to me again. He said, 4 more. I didn't know the meaning, but I was like, maybe he was just doing it the way he is. Normally, he's supposed to pack all this in and just walk. It's just from his own inner parlor to the parlor that connects to his kitchen. It's just a stone throw. It's just 2 steps away. He was throwing it to me. He would go into the parlor, take it, stay in front of it, and throw it, fling it. He did it 3 times. So I didn't count it as anything. I went to the house. In the evening, I was eating the kugu. The kugu was even sweet. It was salted well. I was eating it. Then I started having some feeling inside me. In my chest, I was having some feeling. And I told my wife that, come back, man, shame. Then I told my wife how I got the guguru, how he treated. My wife said, that made me in the warning me, Nikon, Kenya Krombe. You rubbish with the man, I'm going to she I like Benin, show Toroni. My wife just packed all the things, the one I've ate half, and her own, and she went and poured it to the dustbin. And let me tell you, I started seeing signs. You see, you cannot say you're a prophet. That's why when somebody asks me today, is he a false prophet? I will tell you, I don't think so. But if you ask me, is Tibetan a wicked prophet? Well, I will tell you, you should listen to the stories of people like me and others that are saying things. I will tell you that you should find your answer in the realities of many people around him, those that are speaking out now, and those that are too afraid to speak out because what they've seen, or what they are saying, or what they are going to see. Now, that was how we started seeing other things. Then, July, August was a very tough month because it was September I took decision. July, August was a tough month, and you should tell the world what happened to him and why it happened to him. The last Saturday of July, when he went for a party in Ojota, I think that is Baba, the man that used to come to his church, Baba Faleti's party, that they have to rush you out with blood gushing from your man nose. Nikafa.
Lọ́wọ́ pátí tí mo lọ tí mo dáràn ní Saturday tó kọjá sọ náà ní jẹ́ kí tó lọ pátí kankan mọ́ bá dé. Àwọn èèyàn dúró de rice only 4 hours. Wọ́n dúró fún sáà. Wọ́n ò dìde lọ́tọ̀. Òru mú rẹpẹtẹ. Wọ́n ní kí ni mo ṣe bí God. Ó dẹ́ni yẹn wúlò fún ìjọ yìí láti bẹ̀rẹ̀. Ó dẹ̀ ṣe 70. Nígbà tí máa fi kúrò ń bẹ̀ jẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ sí jáde nímú mi ni o because hit everybody. Mo ṣe wá lọ wá ẹjọ́ ẹ má jẹ́ kí n máa gúdá ẹ̀jẹ̀ sí sùtánà. Ẹ jẹ́ kí n lọ ra ice block. But even lẹ́ẹ̀kan pàápàá ìmọ̀ tí mo fẹ́ nìyí mo ti pàdé ẹ̀ níta. Mo ti kó sẹ́mílò mo ti fún. Kò yẹ kí n tún wọlé mọ́bọ̀ tó tún lọ fi mí sí wàásù. Èmi ni kí wàásù.
Tell the world what happened. That they have to rush you out and you are now lying. Oru mumbe. Oru yẹn pọ̀ wọ́n dúró wọ́n fẹ́ jẹ rice. Bí ìwọ ṣe gbó tó, bó ṣe gbówó tó. Ṣé ó yẹ kó oru mú ẹ kẹ́jẹ̀ máa dààmú ẹ? Wọ́n wá ní stress ni. Stress kọ́, me stressing. Mitka, you now came out. You are rushed out. Your sultana was stained in blood. Then eventually, how did you land in US? You that used to speak against hospital, Amy on Los Hospital, Amy Kilimo, all the drugs are on your table, both typhoid, both rheumatism, both You know, anything is, you find everything on your table. You know how to mix up every drug. Yes, thank God for that. I'm giving that to you. How did you land in the hospital in US and you spent 3 weeks on the hospital bed and all the machines were put on your body? You've forgotten that God is so powerful? So why did you think people like us will be able to stay glued? Torí bá àfẹ́ tẹ̀lé yín lọ lóyìnbó níkà ẹ fẹ́ mú wa kúrò, kò possible now. Kí lẹ fẹ́ fi yẹn ṣe? Ta ló taru ọgbọ́n bẹ́ẹ̀ fún ẹ? Ta ló sọ fún ẹ wípé ẹni tó ò dá pé o lè dá mọ́lẹ̀? Ẹni tó jẹ́ pé ìwọ kọ́ ló dá pé o lè dá mọ́lẹ̀? Ta ló sọ fún ẹ? Ta ló fi yí ẹ ìwọ Marcus? Ta ló sọ fún ẹ bẹ́ẹ̀? Ta ló sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ? Ta ló sọ̀rọ̀ nǹkan bẹ́ẹ̀ fún ẹ? As a prophet, o dẹ̀ ní ìgboyà, o dẹ̀ fẹ́ ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀. Nítorí kíni? Nítorí èlò. O mọ ibi tí mo ti ń bọ̀. Even people that I grew through, none of them have come out to say àwa la ṣe báyìí. I have gone through great prophets. I come through people like Wole Bamiduro all his life. I stayed with him. The man that God used to develop a lot of other men of God. He died. I celebrated him in year 2016. None of his children has come out to say, oh, our father did this for him. I spent 14 years under Joshua Akonde Ogunlayede. God bless. God bless. God bless his memory. God bless his calling. Till today, none will ever come out. He didn't say, hey, I made Benga. You said, when I came to your church, I didn't have a car. Konimoto, he didn't have a car.
Even when he has been coming here, without buying a car, without having a car, everything. But God has been helping him.
I bought my first car in December 2009. And I met you in 2012. And we departed September 1, 2022. That is 10 years exactly. So how did I get my first car? I bought my first car. Before I met you, I was driving a car. And even in 2014, may God continue to help us to discern. When my wife was pregnant, anytime we drive to your church, I will park the car outside, and my wife will say, how would they carry one? I used to shout her down. Jókòó sínú mọ́tò. Kó tún rí ẹ kó sọ pé òun ló ń ṣe. Kó rí ẹ kó sọ pé òun ló ń ṣe. Kó tún máa claim ọmọ tó wà nú ẹ. Mínàkà. Because you've done it severally to people. You claim that you are the one that did it. Then if they don't bá gbọ́mọ yẹn wá, ọlọ́mọ yẹn kọ́ ọmọ tó máa bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní gbóná. Then when they come, ṣe bíbí láti ṣe, ṣe bá wàhálà ṣe, ṣó gbọ́mọ yẹn wá dúpẹ́ ni, ṣó wá dúpẹ́ ni, àárí kíní, àárí ìdámẹ́wàá, àárọ̀ rẹ, o kàn sá lọ ṣá, o kàn. You've done it severally. You are so, and that's why we are doing this video, to tell you that you need to work on yourself. Nobody is interested in you being destroyed or you falling down. If you want to fall, it's your own. If you want to rise, it's your own. But that you're a prophet and you want to destroy someone, why? And July, August 2022 was very horrible. You came so hard. You came so hard. And that's why everybody that called your behalf, we didn't reply them. The only person I gave honor to that I replied was Honorable Karigo. And why? Because of his background, because of where he's coming from, because of what he has seen in life. And I told him something that he hold in confidence. I'm sure he told you because I saw the sign the next day. But he understood where I'm coming from. I gave him the snake analogy. And he understood. We cannot be your friend. We cannot promote you for 10 years for free. We cannot elevate you from nothing to something by the very grace of God. We cannot be part and parcel of your church. We contributed money. By the grace of God, contributed 1 million to the building of that cathedral by the special grace of God, not by my power. And the next thing is for you to want to take me out. Tell the whole world what happened to you at that party, that you are rushed out with blood in your mouth, in your nose, and eventually you rushed to America and you landed on the hospital bed for 3 solid weeks before you came back. And when you came back, I stopped speaking with you on the 1st of September. And why? I took decision because I saw some things. I took decision in my hotel room in Abuja. I went for a meeting and I knew what I saw and I saw what I knew. And I said, no, it has to stop. You started begging everybody. Oh, they should beg me to put the video on. They should beg me. You started giving my number to a lot of people. Both strange, both known and unknown people started calling me. The video that you see, including the Honorable Bella. He was tired. I didn't know what to tell them. But I can't put your video. Even what I learned that you did to one of my staff was too horrible. It was so horrible. One of my staff. If he says his own story now, the whole world, everywhere will be shaking. Then you called another person. That person recorded you. You told that friend of mine that you are going to throw bomb in my marriage. That all we can continue to bomb kon. Ile ma foka, ile ma tuka, yawe ma salo. You said a lot of horrible things, and those one were surprised. And the other people there, when you were saying those things, they were shocked because they hold you so much in high esteem. And I have to just run for their life. Then I have to put my life in the hand of God. Then you know what happened? Then when you start softly, you trying to invite me, I should come, I should not bring my team, I should come and see you, you have a package for me, or I should come, I should just come so that I can continue well, so that nobody will reap my benefits. Then I didn't talk. I was thinking, you are a fantastic person, that you understand that I've moved on. But unfortunately, I was dumbfounded when I discovered that you called my lawyer. You can imagine, lawyer tí mo introduce saying, Mori, sọ fún mi pé any problem, ẹ̀gbọ́n yín kan ní issue kan ní court, ẹni tó lawyer tó handle kò lè handle dada. The mistake I did, I introduced my lawyer to you. I've learned a lesson now with this whole episode, never to introduce people of interest to spiritualists. Everybody listening to this broadcast, don't ever introduce people of interest in your life to spiritualists, except perhaps the person is a good person that you know. People started calling us to tell us things that you have done in the past. That Baba in Udirili, may God bless Baba, the High Chief Majua of Udirili. God bless you, sir. The High Chief Majua of Udirili. God bless you, sir. The High Chief Majua of Udirili. God bless you, sir. That Baba is just one of the 4 sources we got about you. In fact, there's one of them. If we release the interview, we are just being respectful of the larger Tibetan family. If not, you didn't do well, sir. We decided to just keep that one. We are being respectful of the larger Tibetan family because of reputable people like Colonel Roy. Because of his pedigree, he has gone through a lot to become an officer of the Nigerian army. We are trying to just be nice. If we decide to release everything we got, you won't like it. But we are being respectful and we are being humane. When my lawyer's own happened, it got to a level I have to call my lawyer's mom to intervene. And I have voice note of what the mama told me, what they told her about what you did to her son. At the time, you were even trying to take my lawyer abroad. O fẹ́ fi ọwọ́ agbára tó ní, o fẹ́ gba lawyer mi, kò lè fi ṣakọ bó tún gba lawyer ẹ̀, o fẹ́ gbé lọ lóyìnbó. Now I decided to go to Irele because there were a lot of options. People were calling us. You that know where you are coming from, you shouldn't have done this kind of a thing. You were calling us, oh she buy, any buy, don't she buy, any buy, don't she buy. We went to Irele. We didn't go there because we only went there to tell you that you don't toy with emotions and you don't toy with destinies. We went to interview the man. So if it's been wrong project, okay. You need that one
àwọn prophet mo bá lò gbogbo kò ṣẹlẹ̀ tó o lè bá pàlàpàlà lọ́wọ́ wọn láyé.
Irú Tibetan yẹn wọ́n máa ń jíṣẹ́, wọ́n máa ń ṣe ògbà, ó dẹ̀ ń ṣe káàkiri ayé.
O lè bá lọ́wọ́ wọn pátápátá.
There's advice rẹ̀ máa fún wọn bó ṣe ń bá lọ yìí nsìn. Irú prophet Tibetan yẹn, irú advice rẹ̀ lè fún. Ẹ lè fún.
Ẹ ṣe yẹsà ká sòótọ́ lójú Ọlọ́run àtẹ̀yàn lójú àwọn gbàmà tó láyé ogun dání òmùrí nígbàdàn sòótọ́ òmùrí kó mọ kan tọ́lọ́run ṣe fún mi Ọlọ́run ṣoore fún Ọlọ́run lò àwa kan fún tó fi jẹ́ èèyàn nínú àdúrà àti ẹ̀wé àtegbò bọ̀tí kò mú oore o kò mú oore Ọlọ́run ó lè jẹ́ nìyẹn.
ilẹ̀ fẹ́ advice kò ṣe kó lè fi kí nǹkan lè fi kó lè wà òkè.
ẹnikẹ́ni tó bá ràn lọ́wọ́ tó jẹ́ kó jẹ́ èèyàn nígbà tó lọ́ọ́ bá ṣe fún ó yẹ kó lè dáńtọ̀ lóhùn. Bíbélì sọ ọdún gan sẹ́fù ó ní òtútù pa mí bẹ́ẹ̀ dá sọ́bù mi
bẹ́ẹ̀ ni sà.
ebi pa mí ó fún mi lóúnjẹ ẹ̀gbẹ́gbẹ́ mi ó fún mi lómi mu tó bá lè ṣèyí fún àwọn àyànfẹ́ ó ní wàá rójú Ọlọ́run.
bẹ́ẹ̀ ni sà.
sọ irú ẹni bẹ́ẹ̀ tọ́lọ́ bá dá sọ́bù tó bá Ọlọ́run máa kẹ̀yìn sí ìgbà tó bá yá. máa kẹ̀yìn sí.
Ọlọ́run máa kẹ̀yìn sí wa.
Àmín.
Èsì dáadáa tọ́. Mo lè fún ẹ ní 1 hour. Mo lè fún ẹ ní 1 hour.
Mi kú lè ní ìgbọ́ mi gbọ́ yìí lọ ní ìgbọ́ fún àmì ìjọba mi.
Alágo wọ̀wọ̀ fídíò nìranjí wá pè é padà jẹ́ ẹ̀rọ.
Ìbá mi.
Wọ̀wòrán. Kí wàá mà ọmọ lè sí Àbújá. Bó ṣòro máa ka hàn. Ó ti kọ́ sí wàhálà o.
Ìsánú mi bá mi.
Dédé àgbáyé ti rò ó.
Ìsánú mi bá mi.
Asabe yẹn kẹ́ apànìyàn ni o, èèyàn búkú ni o.
Bá mi. Bá mi. Ayé mi. Ọ̀ràn rí bá mi jókè bá mi.
Wọ́lágò sọ ti rí wọ́lágò rán.
He was coerced because why? At the time the revelation came out, Prophet Tibetan has launched his book in London. There were a lot of people turn out. He made a lot of funds and all the launching and all the rest. He was now in America trying to launch the book, and he knew it's going to affect the outcome. So they have to coerce the man. They use to intimidate him with SSS, they intimidated him with army, they intimidated him with, and because the man is just a man that wanted peace. Of course, it might appear that he lied with Imule. No, he knew what he was doing. He was just being diplomatic. The Baba was just trying to just let the sleeping dog lie. But àwọn òrìṣà wọ́n mọ ẹni tí èpè tọ́ sí. Àwọn òrìṣà àwọn irun mọlẹ̀ wọ́n mọ ẹni tí èpè máa jà. Èpè ò lè jà olódodo. Èpè kò ní jà olódodo. Gbogbo nǹkan tó sọ sínú afẹ́fẹ́ ẹni tó jẹ́ ẹlẹ́bi ó ní ẹ̀bi máa bí. Ẹni tó tọ eérú lérú máa ń tàn. Because òtítọ́ ni bàbá sọ. Till today we didn't delete the whole video because a lot of you are writing, oh, we video shop. Asabe sọ sí lẹ́nu, Asabe said something to his man, put something. Okay, what is the work of a journalist? The work of a journalist is to put word in the mouth of people to let them say what they need to say. What is the basic essence of journalism? Question and answer journalism. Even the biggest reporters around the world, they will ask questions, they will put word in your mouth and you will say what you need to say. I've interviewed several people in my life and there's some said things they don't want to say. There was a day in Abuja in 2010 or 2009. I went to Abba Abacha's 40th birthday and I interviewed Senator Bashir Lado, the in-law of Babangida, and he said a lot of things. And when I got back to Lagos, he was begging me not to publish it again, that his life is not safe if it comes out publicly. And when he discovered that I was not going to hear, he reported me to Mohammed Abacha, who now intervened, and we just decided we still have the tape till today. So, what is the job of a journalist? You put word in people's mouths for them to say what they don't want to say. And the definition of news is something that is new. Newsy. So when we went to interview the Oluwo of Really, we just wanted him to say who you are, because into ṣe sí lawyer mi, wọn kì í ṣe rẹ o. Into ṣe yẹn ò dá. Into ṣe yẹn ò dá. Till today now, a lot of things has happened. In fact, what my lawyer has lost now, he cannot even say it out. We have to go to the extent of, I have to call the mom. Come by. And the mom say, I want to solve for me. I want to see a prophet, I want to solve kini ẹ fún mi. Ma gbàdúrà sí, ma ṣe báyìí, ẹ ṣé tẹ pàkíyèsí mi sí, ẹ ṣé, á dá fún yín. The mama prayed for me and she went out to do the service of Abiyamo. And now, look at it.
Welcome back. I have always said it times without number, regardless of the philanthropy, goodwill, eloquence, and some of the characteristics that you will find amongst those that call themselves religious cleric. It doesn't matter if they are Muslims or Christians or Trado Christian, Trado Islam, whatever it is that they are. You have to be extremely careful. They can be very dangerous. First of all, when you come around them, they want to put you underneath them. They want you to be in servitude. You call them daddy, you call them sir. Some even go as far as making sure you call them spiritual father, spiritual mother. Now, if you call someone your spiritual father or mother, what does it imply? It means whatever they tell you, if they reprimand you, everything they say to you will sound like it's from God. It will appear like God has just spoken. And at times they might call you and say they need this amount of money now. If you don't give it to them, the next day they preach about you, or they stop calling you. They're beginning to show that attitude. They begin to give you attitude. Maybe you've experienced this. Some of you have kept on paying with nothing happening in your life. When you decide to run away from them, they come up with something else to hook you in. It is serious. They refuse to let you know that it is God that does the miracle. It is God that heals. It is God that answers prayer. They might have their own ability to manipulate this and that. They might have their own gift or authority that they, manifest here and there. At the end of the day, if truly God called them, it is God that effects whatever it is that comes out of their mouth. Now, we have some churches, or let us say spiritual homes or temples in the world. They do what they call spiritual work. Anywhere you go to and you are told you need to do spiritual work, it is spiritual temple, spiritual synagogue, or whatever. What I'm trying to say is that we have those that do not practice such. Now, Prophet Tibetan is a man that does all of this, not because it is specific to him. The church that he is from, the church that he is a pastor or shepherd of, that is what they do, spiritual work. Most of the garment churches do spiritual work. In fact, we have a new trend. They've taken off the garments. They now dress like Pentecostal churches so that they can be accepted because of the dearth, because of the uncleanness that people believe, and also lack of clarity when it comes to practices, traditional practices like worship of deity practices, and things that surround this, in quote, idol worship. There are those who run away from white garment churches. So some of these white garment have now rearranged themselves, learned some few Bible verses, and they have their church, and they call it names like the Covenant Keeping God Ministry, not the Celestial Church of Christ, not Kiribu and Seraphim Parish 12 and 10, not anything, not the Church of Yahweh, or not at all. They don't give such to it anymore. They now rearrange it and make it appear modern, like that of the Pentecostal churches. Now, when you get close to them, they manifest, they do. But when they tell you certain things, you realize that this person either has a root in the white garment church, or the spirit that works or operates in the life of that person is actually from that place that you left. So here we are. You meet a man of God, in quote, alleged or so-called or self-acclaimed man of God, and he begins to tell you things, and you do prayers, and the next thing you begin to see where you left in the life of that person, and you are like, what is really going on here? Benga Dan Asabe, he went in there as a professional. Here and there, prophet might offer spiritual assistance, which is possible. But like I said, the worst thing that will ever happen to you as a human being is to fall into the hands of such people. When you are giving gifts or you are giving spiritual items, you do not know the intent of it. You don't know the intent of it. I'll give you an example. Islamic cleric spots a young lady. He has already 4 wives at home, or 5 or 3. Spots this young lady. Rather than him asking her out normally and requesting for, time to get to know each other. He would rather use the gift he has, either demonic gift or the one from the Holy Spirit. He will begin to tell the lady, I saw this, and now the lady is able to confirm some of these things because he will pick some of the events around her life that are true, and also had one or two to put fear into her. And he will now tell this lady, you have to do this spiritual work within the next 48 hours. And what is this? I'm going to give you this to put underneath your pillow. Once you put it there, whatever you see in your dreams, come meet me. Now, that's another level of spiritual scam. They know that once you see in your dream, you will believe it because it is you dreaming it. But they have manipulated certain spiritual arrangements. You will dream what they want you to dream. And you will come tell them what you saw. After all, they gave you it's like a remote control. So you took the TV home and they have the remote control. So they just put it to the channel that they want you to see. And you look at it and you come telling him, I saw this, I saw that. If your spirit is, full of holes, they will penetrate you. Now you go telling this is what I saw, and you say, okay, now you have to take this X and Y, Z spiritual item. Now, the thing is this, like I explained in the other video, once you take this in, one of that spiritual item is actually to shut you and lock you down. Before you say Jack Robinson, before you say Alpha and Omega, before you say Jesus Christ, before you say Muhammad, Allah, you've given birth to 6 children and you do not even know how you got there. You cannot explain to anybody what brought you there. You just don't understand. You already done 6. 6? Like, look, man, how did me, a career woman, a medical doctor, a surgeon, schooled in the US, how did I end up in a 2-bedroom apartment or a 1-room apartment with this man that has 6 wives? How did it happen? Spiritual manipulation. Now, you hear what Asabe said. He threw, and I've heard several times how he likes to throw things at people. This is a way to demean you, to put you underneath. When people throw something at you, they are demeaning you. That is what it is known to be in our own culture in Africa and maybe all over the world. Normally, if someone throws something at you, it's disrespectful, isn't it? The person is disrespecting you. The person is putting you underneath. Prophet threw at him 1, 2, 3, and he mentioned to who he wants it to be for. You take this for yourself. And what is this? Popcorn, sealed. You take this for yourself. You take this for your wife. You take this for your daughter. Now, he didn't see nothing wrong in that. He felt like, okay, he was still open-minded. He got home, he wasn't feeling good. The prophet wanted to probably afflict him with sickness. He had maybe already done spiritual work, invoked, done some spiritual, planted some spiritual, maybe he felt like if I put it through the head, maybe why don't I just give it to him to eat? Many of these people have demonic tools. They have wicked tools. At their beck and call. They use it whenever, however, in whatever version, way. So why should I fire arrows at him when he's coming here? He said, I gave him money. I did this, I did that. Still, he wanted. Why? Because you are not listening to what I want you to listen to. I instructed and I told you not to do this, not to do that. Do not interview Adebayo. Do not interview Adebayo. Do not interview anybody. Do not in any way interview anyone at all. Now, people have even, kind of experienced this, that Benga Asabe said. So he got home, he ate it. He didn't feel good. Immediately, his spirit was very sharp. It picked, or let's say his spirit was open, and it penetrated him very quickly. He didn't feel good. His chest problem started. What is this? Oh, I ate this. This is what's happening to me. He was able to tell the wife. The wife is like, you took it up and he threw it at you. Like, seriously? No. The wife was able to quickly act. Later, he got to realize what it was. And he said what it is. It's a spiritual manipulation. He said the name of what it is in Yoruba language. It's a spiritual manipulation. Like you, I will not put you down and end you. No, but I'm going to make sure that you are grounded. That I'm not going to put you under the soil immediately, but to be grounded health-wise. When you are sick and the key to the sickness is with me, you will not go to Adebayo anymore. That's what I'm kind of thinking. Maybe it's even worse or critical. Maybe wanted to snuff him out of this world. Like he's like, you don't want to listen. But at that time, for him to have said, go to the UK, go outside of Nigeria, it means he's done with whatever he needs. It's like, you know what? I'm going to take his YouTube channel. Let him go to the UK. And this, just to get him out of the way. And with this that Prophet Marcus is, this publicity that is not a good one, is becoming infamous. People are definitely going to be very careful when they go to him. But you know, these spiritual people, they have ways. Maybe he will begin to blow into the air, setting, anchor. They call this thing spiritual anchor. I'll give you an example. So you will know how these things work. Just imagine Shakirat, Ahmed, Muhammad, any Islamic name. Just imagine, any name at all that you know. Now, this lady, she is in the farm working. Her parents are Muslims. They have never, ever in any way done anything apart from Islam, and maybe they left traditional worship and all of that. Then there is this white garment church somewhere in the town, and she is in the village. And this white garment prophet, to show to those that are there that he is available, he does his own advert. He doesn't need to ring bell and start telling people vision. No, not that alone. What he does is to do the spiritual anchor. It's like, the way he will just like spray the seed into the atmosphere. Then the familiar spirit or whatever it is, tools, whatever thing that he has, he will just package the thing into the atmosphere. The spirit will move and land on Sadiat, a Muslim girl who is never a Christian, whose father is an Islamic cleric. And in that farm, she will begin to speak in strange tongue, begin to manifest like how white garments often will do. 2-3 days, there is no solution. The father of Sadiat, a Muslim, begins to read Quranic verses. Because the person who has done this is sitting down monitoring. And the father, the Islamic cleric, does not know what to do. If he's not, high up there spiritually, he doesn't know what to do. Then the next thing people will suggest, like, it's better you take her to the shepherd of this white garment church, blah, blah, blah. And she will land there. This one, the spirit, allegedly, they will say the spirit of God has dropped on her. And that she has to be under, the shadow of the prophet or whatever title they give to themselves. He knows what he did, and his net has caught one fish. This is how Sadiat, whose parents are Muslim, now becomes a white garment prophetess. No salvation, no knowing of God in any way, apart from what she knows with her own doctrine. She comes in and begins to give a message, as the word is, they call it message, and begins to tell you things. She begins to go into trance. She begins to tell you a lot of things. Now, I do know that God can use anything. Yes, God can use anything whenever he wants to. He can use anyone. You can even be in a beer parlor or in a pub, in a bar. You can be anywhere. God can use any. There's nothing God cannot use whenever he wants. And that you are living a particular life does not mean that God cannot use you, or you do not have covenant or call of God on you. So that, I want you to get that right. So this man who has the key knows how to lock and open. And Sadiat becomes a member. Sadiats begin to move around. They begin to hear about this in the village. And before you know it, his members from all walks of life. That's how he gets them. So, there is a lot of spiritual manipulation out there. You just have to be careful. Don't believe everything because you feel like, oh, he didn't tell me, I saw it, I felt. No, it doesn't really work that way. These people are advanced when it comes to, imagine someone throwing food item at someone, but this is actually to pull that person into health crisis. What do you think about it? What has been your own experience? Drop it in the comment section. See you in the next update.